This entire offseason so far for Toronto Blue Jays fans has been filled with one very overwhelming feeling: disappointment.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Whether it be the disappointment of missing out on Ohtani and realizing that it was just a dragon from Dragon's Den who was flying to Toronto, or the disappointment of watching Juan Soto get traded to our arch enemies, the New York Yankees, or the realization that the Toronto Blue Jays will probably be missing out on Cody Bellinger too, this entire offseason has been filled with a crapload of disappointment. And would you believe it or not, folks, but the pain, it's not over.
Disappointed!
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this one, folks, we're going to be talking about how the Toronto Blue Jays are losing out on some more free agents that they were apparently targeting, and what this team can actually do at this point to salvage the offseason. Before we do, I encourage you guys to hit the like and smash the subscribe button if you enjoy Toronto Blue Jays news and content so you don't miss any future videos. All right, folks, let's get into it. So by now, I'm sure that you have all heard that Teoscar Hernandez has been signed to the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers have continued their torrid spending spree by locking down Hernandez to a one-year deal worth $25 million. Now, that might seem like a lot, but keep in mind that the Dodgers have spent over $1 billion this offseason, so what's a few more million? This is obviously a bit of a blow to the Blue Jays in its own right, because Hernandez, he would have been kind of perfect to come back to Toronto. He would have fit that DH and outfield spot that the Jays are apparently looking for, and we know that he is a very capable bat. So already there's a little bit of disappointment there, but Teo going to the Dodgers actually might start a little bit of a domino effect that might not be so good for the Toronto Blue Jays. A few days ago, a report was released by Mark Feinsand linking the Jays to power hitter Jorge Soler. Soler smacked 36 homers last year, and if you're not going to go out and you're not going to get Cody Bellinger, then you could argue that Jorge Soler, he's kind of the next best option. Problem is, now that Teo is gone, it's looking like there might be another team that's going to come in and scoop him up. Hector Gomez recently tweeted out, source, in the last few hours, the Red Sox have been very aggressive in talks about outfielder/DH Jorge Soler. They emerge now as the front runner to sign him. Blue Jays, Mariners, Diamondbacks continue to show interest in the Cuban star player. Now, the Red Sox, they were actually initially favorited to go out and get Hernandez, but considering he went to the Dodgers, it does make sense why they would want to pivot and look at Jorge Soler. Now, if the Jays were to lose out on Jorge Soler as well, that would obviously suck, but I feel like it's even amplified in this instance, because if you were to literally watch this guy that you are apparently targeting that would fill your spots on your team that you need go to a division rival like the Boston Red Sox, that's just like a double whammy. And if we go down the rabbit hole for a little bit, if Jorge Soler was to go to the Boston Red Sox, then the Toronto Blue Jays, they're not left with a whole lot of options. Whoa, time for your daily Betway breather. A quick reminder that the best place to bet is on Betway. Must be 19 years of age or older to play. In collaboration with iGaming Ontario, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content. You're basically looking at Jock Peterson, JD Martinez, and I guess Rhys Hoskins too, who are all kind of in that same tier of player that the Toronto Blue Jays are apparently eyeing right now, but that's basically it. So all of that to say, if the Jays want to actually do something this offseason, now is the time. I know, people have been saying that for a while now, but this is the first time that we're starting to see some of these mid-tier players, these mid-tier bats start to go off the board, and when they start going, there's not a whole lot of time left. In fact, to put it in perspective, everybody, we are now closer to the first game of spring training than we are to the last game of the World Series, right? So we're kind of entering into the end game of the offseason. Now, it should be noted that just yesterday, John Morosi did mention the Toronto Blue Jays along with the San Francisco Giants as potential landing spots for JD Martinez, but I feel like at this point, we've kind of heard all that before. The Jays are a potential landing spot for all of these players, right? Earlier this week, they were literally a potential landing spot for Jorge Soler, and now it's looking like he might go to Boston, so it's just impossible for us to get our hopes up at this point. It is abundantly clear, though, based on what is happening right now around the MLB, that the clock is ticking on this offseason, and if they want to make a move, now is the time. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Jays go!